We have the noisy sound. And bugged, you'll hear the D sound.
In 2001, the Department of Public Instruction launched the North Carolina State Improvement Project, an ambitious initiative to improve outcomes for students with disabilities through high-quality professional development for teachers.
Talk about that a little bit. Multiplying by the reciprocal.
NC-SIP leaders dreamed big. They would invest their federal funds to create new research-validated courses in reading and math, designed to help teachers impact students across grade levels in public schools large and small. And with its first 3 grants, NC-SIP would reach significant milestones, increasing accessibility to rigorous evidence-based professional development across the state.
Count my fingers.
With its 4th grant, NC-SIP would take on new challenges and opportunities,
So what's the unknown number?
using research and data to target 4 key areas: coaching, adolescent literacy, local leadership, and pre-service teacher preparation. Now approaching its 20th year, the North Carolina State Improvement Project continues to lead, consistently exceeding expectations with its strategic, flexible, and proven plan for success.
Tips work, but look at this.
After 5 days of learning cutting-edge instructional methods for reading and math, teachers needed help transferring this knowledge to their classroom practice. NC-SIP partnered with experts, developing an extensive coaching network to support implementation fidelity.
I think coaching matters, obviously, for a variety of reasons. When we just take a course, for instance, or we do some kind of professional learning, we get about 5% transfer of that new knowledge into our classroom practice. When we include coaching, we get 95% transfer because the guidance and the support is at the point of performance, which is where it matters.
These are things that are expected.
Using a rigorous selection process, NC-SIP leaders identified a statewide team of regional coaches to support instructors at the building and district levels, promoting local capacity and sustainability.
As the data and goals for
A new Coaching Basics course would empower educators to take the lead in their own professional learning and address the full coaching continuum.
What do I know?
From the study of best practice
On your mark, get set, sound it.
to observation
Miss Berry, why don't you refocus everyone where they are on the number line?
Right.
to one-on-one coaching and group coaching and networking.
It was positive because she was open to the feedback.
NC-SIP promotes the use of technology to make coaching even more accessible. With remote virtual coaching,
What did that feel like?
It felt very natural.
Ask them why they have to say them 3 times.
and real-time in-ear coaching,
Let me ask you a question really quickly. Why do you think we need to repeat it 3 times?
one coach can provide support to multiple educators in the same building or across the state without the time or expense required for travel.
Have them echo the sound to you. So if you say what says ah, then have them say a apple ah.
Is it a base word suffix?
So when we put those components together in a way where we're building our knowledge base, we're supporting that at the point of performance, and then we're supporting one another over time. When we run into those problems of practice or we want to share those points of pride, then we have a more sustainable, comprehensive model that's teacher-led and supported by coaches, by consultants, by administrators.
To me, the coaching is what we've needed the whole time. We have, over years, provided that initial training, but it's going back and working with those teachers, and from that, those teachers are growing, and they're sharing it with their peers, and it's building.
It's increased the confidence of our teachers. They're now able to speak up and say, you know, I am good at this, and I am able to help others, and I am able to be a mentor to others.
Based on stakeholder feedback and emerging research, NC-SIP would revise its foundational courses in reading and math. But with data indicating widespread need, NCSIP leaders saw an opportunity to target adolescent literacy at the district level, with shared professional development for administrators and teachers.
They can do well on this next progress monitoring.
Too many years we've heard we don't teach that in the secondary levels. That's an elementary teacher's job, and it's really a never-ending process. So if a student is still grasping for those skills in order to read, they're not going to be able to get through their content at the secondary level, middle and high school, unless they've got supports.
The new professional development drew on experience with the strategic instruction model Content Literacy Continuum, a coordinated school-wide approach to improving adolescent literacy already tested in North Carolina.
So we engaged in professional development with very strong evidence-based practice through the University of Kansas and the Center for Research on Learning. An adolescent literacy overview was developed so that teams could attend to learn how to make a plan for their school to address adolescent literacy. And from there, they selected, based on their data, the types of strategies that they wanted to have their teachers be taught.
Remember how we actually word map a word.
NCSIP leaders worked with Kansas to streamline its certification process, making a wider range of instructional strategies and routines available to teachers through micro-credentialing.
SIM, or the Strategic Instruction Model, is a set of strategies that are designed to help students access text, either through prediction or through summarizing, which we know has great gains for comprehension.
Every paragraph, I want to learn something new, okay?
Adolescent literacy programs address comprehension, vocabulary, and writing. Skills students need to meet increased reading and writing demands in the upper grades. For struggling readers, programs continue to teach the foundational skills of decoding and fluency.
What is wonderful about this is that we're teaching general ed teachers as well as special education teachers.
Our first term today is going to be refraction.
And so the students who are taught these strategies and content enhancement routines are able to generalize those skills from the special education classroom to other classrooms in the middle and the high schools.
NCSIP has connected us to instructors and coaches that have supported Swain Middle School in the implementation of the Content Literacy Continuum, and they have helped coach us and move Swain Middle School from approximately 38% proficient to 60% proficient.
When they are using an evidence-based program or instructional approach to strategically teach reading, over the course of the year, we're seeing students make 2 years worth of progress. And that's really compelling data. That changes the trajectory of students' lives.
NCSIP's work is grounded in implementation science, which considers the impact of competency, organization, and leadership on program fidelity and sustainability. With a goal of achieving classroom, building, and district-level change, NCSIP took steps to fully engage local leaders.
We determined that we needed to create a course specifically for leaders that addresses implementation science, all of the elements that are critical to having that support in place at the school and the district level in order to make certain that the teachers, once back in the classrooms, they know that the leadership is able to support them. The organization is supporting them.
Awesome. The All Leaders PD has been phenomenal with our administrators, and I think us bringing on administrators has really helped them to understand implementation science and where we're going with the evidence-based practices and what it's all about.
When I see the superintendent sitting in that implementation team meeting, when I see that superintendent actually attending the courses, when I see that superintendent actively engaged when we meet and they know what is going on with the NCSIP project, I know that the leadership is there. I know that the commitment is there.
We have buy-in from everyone within the district, and it is so important. We aren't operating in silos. It's not the general education department, the special education department, it's not curriculum and instruction and EC. We're all working together for a common goal. All of our plans align.
SIP used to be an EC initiative. Now it's an instructional team initiative. Today, when we plan SIP activities, initiatives, it's high school, middle school, elementary, EC, we're all at the table and we're blending, we're braiding funds, we're figuring out how to do it as a team. And that's where the sustainability is really going to occur, I believe.
Tell me about one of them.
Co-teaching is one way to leverage the supports provided by special education teachers in the general education environment. To help schools implement co-teaching, NC SIP integrated existing coursework for teachers with a newly developed companion course for administrators.
So all of our teachers and all of our administrators took the co-teaching course. And through that co-teaching professional development, it's allowed our teachers to have a better understanding of different co-teaching models.
We put our best teachers for all students and our best practices for all students. And so that crossover, that blend, that co-teaching model has really been expanded upon. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're trying to do with MTSS. It blends beautifully.
My son said, "Mom, why are you coming to school?" And I said, "I have IEP meeting today." And he said, "I don't know why you have that anymore because I'm in the regular classroom. I don't go to EC." So my child felt as he was the average student now, instead of being labeled as an exceptional child.
NC SIP also created 3 tiers of project engagement with different levels of funding and responsibility. Network sites start with 1 or 2 SIP initiatives. Demonstration sites help test new programs with partners like the Exceptional Children's Assistance Center. And best practice sites fully implement all SIP initiatives, providing regional leadership in professional development and technical assistance.
We've been a best practice site for 4 years now. That's the highest level of engagement with the grant. So as a best practice center, we open our doors to network sites and demonstration sites to come and see the great things that we're doing within our district.
NC SIP would also expand its partnership with colleges and universities to embed its evidence-based core instruction earlier in the workforce pipeline.
We've had a great experience with our institutes of higher ed coming on board to become trainers in either reading research to classroom practice or our foundations of math, and then integrating that back in their curriculum in their courses for special ed teachers and for general ed teachers.
The reason why we embed that content for our pre-service teachers is so that when they are going out into the field, they already know. They already have the information, they've already reflected on it, practiced it, and they're better to serve those students who don't have access to certain educational content.
That one course my students take in mathematics, I have a lot to cover. But I really try to start and use a continuum that is used in the foundations of math. No student is going to graduate and on day 1 be 100% ready for that classroom. They're going to need to continue to practice and keep learning. Yet, I think they can go into at least teaching mathematics with more confidence and feeling they better understand the content.
My teacher that I'm with at Bain Elementary, she was supposed to administer the number knowledge test with her students, and she showed it to me one morning, and I just lit up and was like, "Oh my gosh, I know exactly what that is. I know how to administer that. I can help you."
Institutions of higher education extend NC SIP coaching, networking, and problem solving within their service regions to help meet unique local needs.
So that's one way.
I have a very strong working relationship with a lot of the special education professors. And we've talked about how can we partner together? How can we collaborate together? What do we need to be doing to help grow our teachers that are in public ed?
After 20 years, the story of NC SIP burns brightly in the lives of those impacted. Teachers brimming with fresh ideas, administrators offering greater support, families experiencing renewed hope, and students growing in confidence and skill.
I can use this strategy wherever I want, science, whatever I'm reading.
The RAP strategy has helped me understand my stories a lot better now. I can pass tests.
Now I'm able to stay on everybody's level as far as doing what they do.
She'll actually go and say, Miss Hull, teach me this today and I want to show you.
I love reading and my teacher is good. I started to read all the time.
We definitely saw the confidence level improve, his attitude improve, just feeling like I can do this.
I'm a part of the Parent Advisory Board, and it means a lot to me just to be able to give back and give my feedback.
The teachers actually knew what they were doing, had the resources and the skills to teach him.
To see a student who never would raise their hand to read and then be willing to read in front of the class is a powerful thing.
It needs to be shouted from the rooftop. The Foundations of Math and the Reading Research to Classroom Practice are such phenomenal courses for teachers, for students, for schools.
It is the best support and professional development as an educator of 27 years that I have ever had.
The teachers see results right away. They see how this can work in all classrooms with all students.
What I most admire about NC SIP is the commitment that is provided with our students with disabilities.
We are graduating more of our students with disabilities than we have in the years past.
I have grown as an educator, I've grown as an instructor.
They're now able to coach each other. That's not something that they were able to do 10 years ago.
It's a strong network of folks who all are very passionate about the coursework.
When I look back at all this, I'm like, wow, this is getting into our culture. And if it gets in the culture of your school system and the culture of your schools, you've got a real chance to make an impact on kids.
And we're taking kids who may have been in Tier 3 with MTSS, our highest risk kids, and we're watching them catch up, close the gap, and moving back down to where they are working at their grade level.
So in the end, when you have data to support your service delivery model and fidelity that's built in, when kids are benefiting from it, that's the best, that's gravy there. And so we know we're on the right path.
My experience with NC SIP has been that they really are more comprehensive in what they're trying to do with those funds, and they're looking at it both broadly and deeply.
Well, the last 5 years have been a culmination of a lot of work, collaborative work across our school system. And now we have a critical mass of people who really believe in strategies that work. They understand it helps children.
The North Carolina State Improvement Project is growing educational leaders. The regional consultants, every one of them have been involved as an instructor, an NC SIP coordinator, and/or a regional coach.
I think that beyond its longevity, scaling, and retention of great people, it's been NC SIP's vision, persistence, and dedication to do what is best for kids.
They are dedicated, they are committed, they are relentless, they are reflective, they are resourceful, they are joyful. They are really amazing people to work with.